Hosted by EFFU Jenny, AITAH for leaving one of my brother's kids out of a trip but taking the rest. So long story short, I 35F live and work abroad but I'm from the Midwest. I grew up with my brother Jason 43M and our parents 70s. We were working class, had what we needed but not well off by any means. When I was in high school, Jason married Tiffany 40F, whose and will always be a mess of a person. Heavy drinker, partier, **** knows whatever else, but she was hot and my brother is a dweeb to put it nicely. They had Jason 19M, Jeff 17M, and Hannah 12F. Their marriage broke down before Hannah was born. They tried working it out but ultimately got divorced. Jason started dating Jenny 43F while splitting custody of the kids with Tiffany 50-50. Since Tiff had been a son, she received child support and alimony, and my brother worked a lot. I liked Jenny at first. She wasn't a complete smoke show like Tiff, but she was kind, had a good job, and was well educated. I thought much better match. At first, I know Jenny was upset that the kids didn't immediately love her and call her mum when they were there, and the divorce **** then got pregnant somewhat fast with Daisy 10F and they got married. Around this time, the older kids started refusing to go back to Tiff's. She was always drinking and having guys around, so all three moved in full-time with Jason, and Jenny and Tiff left town and is no longer in the kids' lives. I tried being understanding. I'm sure having a newborn and then three older kids full-time is difficult. But Jenny completely changed. He stopped working, but declared she was only a son to her kid. Jason was working 70+ hours to make ends meet, and her parents were helping them out, but she controls the finances. This means that the three of them, Jason, Jenny and Daisy, operate as a family unit, going to dinners, events, even vacations, and leaving the older three kids at home. I have always thought this was disgusting and voiced my opinion about it, but Jason just said his divorce broke him emotionally and he will do anything possible to keep Jenny happy so that their marriage works out. Pros, yes. And 10 years ago, to be frank, I was younger, broker, and dumber, so it was kind of more like, yes, my brother **** sucks as a dad, but I live on another continent and all I can do is be supportive of the kids. I know, not a great attitude in retrospect, and I'm disappointed in myself. I really did my best when they refused to pay for Jace to learn how to drive, even though Jenny refused to drive the kids anywhere. My mom taught him, and I bought him a used car. We had to shame Jason to put him on his insurance, and he makes Jace pay for it. Same with Jeff, they shared the car and use it for their activities, and Hannah's my wife and only child, and we don't want children, have the three of them are our sole beneficiaries in our will. Something we did when we found out that Jenny and Jason plan to leave them only the bare minimum amount. Everything goes to Daisy. Also, after we got married, my wife 6 years ago, and I decided that we would start taking the older kids on annual trips with us when we went to the US. Nothing fancy, we might be child-free, but we're not billionaires or anything, just well off. But things like a week in Florida, Utah, California, things like that. They're very outdoorsy kids, so they've had a blast every year, and we plan it when my brother takes Jenny and Daisy on trips, so they don't care. Normally we vacation in the summer, but Jace got an internship this summer, so we decided to move our trip to the fall, and they'll go into Maine leaves. I let Jason know the dates, they're in line with their fall breaks, no worries, and he basically said we need to start including Daisy. Jenny's parents made some bad investments. They're fine but aren't helping them out anymore, and Jenny's looking for a job, but since her parents had always paid for their trips, they can't go on one this year. So, even if all was fair, I wouldn't want to take Daisy on a trip. This is going to shock you with parents like that, and I feel so bad saying this about a child, but Daisy's a huge brat, spoiled, mean, and constantly bragging about the things she gets that her siblings don't. She once told me they weren't her siblings, they were Tiffany's kids. She throws toddler-level tantrums on holidays if she doesn't get as much and more as the other kids, tells my wife, and we are going to **** edit. I now feel bad for including this. She said it about 5 years ago a few times, and when Jenny was told, it was about the only time I've ever seen her discipline Daisy. I guess she'd heard it from Jenny's aunt, but it was hurtful and hard to forget with everything else, and since Jenny waits on her hand and foot, she's a total slob. I feel bad saying all this. I hope when she grows up she grows out of it, but there is no way I'd want to take her on a vacation. So I told him I didn't think we'd be able to handle all 4 kids and we'd just go the 5 of us. He said Jenny could come to help out, absolutely not, or our mom could go love her, but she's getting a freaking HIP replacement next month and does not want to go. Plus the car we'd need for all these people on a road trip would be ****. We'd probably need 2, and you know what? I don't want to. Anyways, sorry for trauma dumping on you all. This is getting long. I was worried Jason would not let me take the other kids on the trip, but they decided to go the route of shaming us online. Obviously it's working with their friends and her family, but even my dad told me to stick to my guns. But my wife came to me the other day and basically said, "Are we even better than Jenny if we're favoring some kids over another just because we don't like their mom? Before we were evening things out, but now we're obviously favoring the oldest." She told me to think of the long-term health of my family and our relationships. She said that it's my family, my decision, but wants me to think about it. My gut is saying just take the older 3, but Daisy's only 10, she's not to blame. Would it make me an evil aunt to leave her out?